I have a question. Because I haven't seen the movie. Could you all just give us like a brief synopsis, I guess, of what the movie is about?
Teri, go ahead, Teri. Tell them what it is.
True to the Game is basically the story of Gina, a young girl in West Philly who gets involved with a drug dealer, and the mafia is basically after him. And it goes through 2 years of her life with him. And so that was really what the book was really about. And as you can see, the film is a replica of the book, so that's the take.
Which is off of stories from your life.
Not my life per se.
Man, you trying to get somebody killed, man.
Either that or put in jail.
What happens in Philly stays.
It's fiction. But like I said earlier, it's like true to life crime. I just want to embark on what they were just saying as far as films and supporting. For me as an author, when I started, I started writing this book in 1992. I don't think that we had the internet then. I didn't have any help publishing.
No, we definitely didn't have the internet.
No, I started with books made with crazy glue. And I started selling them out the trunk of my car. And I would go on to sell 1.2 million books out the trunk of my car before they figured out what I was doing. And somewhere between that and Dutch, it became a problem for Black writers. And so on behalf of myself and all the other writers out there, I think that our content, I don't know if they know, I definitely know millennials don't know my name, but I don't really think that they understand what me and Vicky Stringer did in the early 2000s. And I will give her dues because she was my arch nemesis. I got up every day to battle her.
Vicky Stringer?
It was Vicky Stringer. It was the whole point of my life to shut her down.
Who is she? Because I know.
She was
Genre.
another publisher. Vicky would go on behind me. And start Triple Crown Publishing. And Vicky would publish over 100 books. And Vicky would have over 30 authors under her. I would have offices in the Empire State Building. And I would bring in over $10 million before they figured out what I was doing. And the story it's again, if Sally's dog dies, it's so tragic. And it's a movie.
Yeah.
Sally's dog.
Yeah.
But my life was a problem. And coming from the inner city was a problem. And writing about it was a problem. And it was such a problem that it wouldn't even be called fiction. They would name it urban fiction. And they would put it in the back of the stores, and you would walk all the way in the back to the left. And that's where there would be a big shelf for you to get an urban fiction book, because we're not going to put Teri Woods next to Stuart Woods. And so that was a journey. And I think that people don't understand the doors that were unlocked by myself and by my peers in writing, such as Vicky Stringer, Nikki Turner, Quan, Wahida Clark, all of them that came behind me. And none of us were ever made. None of us were ever made. And so, to sit here and say thank you to Manny, thank you so much, because there's no way you're going to tell me that we were bringing in millions and millions of dollars and we had everybody reading. The prisons were like crickets. And then they started writing books.
Was this before the whole Zane era?
Yes.
I was before Zane.
Yes.
Wow.
Zane was published. I'm talking about a different movement.
Right.
I'm talking about Black empowerment. I'm talking about the last Black market that we had, where Black people created content, Black people delivered that content, the distributors were Black, The stores were black owned.
Right.
We were not in Barnes and Nobles. We were not in Borders. My business started as a prison business because there's 2 million people locked up, and so who's true to the game? Everybody, all my friends are in jail.
Exactly.
I'm doing wonderful with my book orders.
Right.
Okay, y'all done locked everybody up. I gotta get a day job.
Right.
This is insanity.
Right.
And just so we're clear, the reason why I started daydreaming was because Valerie Zaslow came in wearing my salary, swinging her hair in this ponytail that just swung amazingly through the air. And then she comes over and she's like, Tracy, my BMW's parked outside. Do you think she could put a quarter in my meter? Because I have to go upstairs and talk to my dad. Thank you. Like, oh, hold on. Is she real?
Did you put a quarter in the meter?
Yeah, I was outside. Like, yo, hold up. Yo, her BMW was so crazy. I'm like, I need to call cousin Ray down in Richard Allen. We could carjack her ass and put her in the trunk. Ride around the city all day. But that wasn't the reality.
Right.
And the reality was that I had to put the quarter in her meter, and then I had to go back into this law firm. And I honestly sat there and I said at 24, 25?
Pissed.
No.
Can't
Please,
do it.
Jesus.
Not gonna be able to do it.
Please, Jesus,
Not
just
gonna be
bring me
able to do
another drug dealer to get me up out of here, because I can't work for these white folks in here. They're crazy. Please help me, please.
Right.
And now look
There's
at
truth to
and
the
now
game.
look
On the doggone billboard.
So wait, you want to know the crazy part? This Quadir character continues not only to save my life, but to really, like I said, that whole movement of writing or whatever they read when they read True to the Game, because we had 5 books.
Right.
We had 5 books. The first was Coldest Winter, but it was done by Pocket Books. And then I came out with True to the Game under my little own company.
Right.
And then we would have Be More Careful by Shannon that I would publish. And then it would be Vicky's book. But Vicky was still in jail, I think, and A&B put her out. And they was from Tobago. They was down in Brooklyn. And they put out a book called Let That Be the Reason. And after Let That Be the Reason came Dutch.
Wow.
And it was over after Dutch.
That's what I'm talking
So you
Anthony
published the
read
coldest
Dutch.
winter ever?
No,
No,
The
no.
Coldest Winter
Maybe
Ever
no.
was published by a major publisher, Pocket Books. What I'm trying to say to you is, while that was the first book to be published,
Right.
it wasn't an independent black movement and black power in where we controlled a black market for about, I would say 8 years. We controlled it, meaning if you wrote a book back in 2001, 2002. True to the Game created channels that you could just go give your book to 1 or 2 black people in Brooklyn, and we could move that, and you would, if your book, we could do 50,000 easy in a month or 2. We created an underground railroad. We didn't need Barnes and Noble. We weren't in Barnes and Nobles. We were black people writing black books, and we had to deliver them to the black people to read, and we only had black distributors and black bookstores. And this went on for years.
Right.
Bars. You guys are
Did
getting the
you
bars.
talk about
Bars.
like how did, when
That's
you had
right.
Simon
That's
and
some
Schuster
of
come
yours.
in and make imprints? Because I've experienced that, like having a publisher contact me and say, well, now we have, at Atria Books, we have this part that is.
I mean, I think after a while, the major publishers realized that
Oh, they
we
know.
were such a market that, like I said, they created the title Urban Fiction. We had our own little section in all the major stores. Everybody signed up to Cash Money, Simon
Yeah.
Schuster. Everybody, they came for everybody. They came with checks. And once you you're no longer in control of your content, you can't be in control of how it's delivered, nor can you control the count. And that's how we lost that last black market that we actually controlled. You know, you'll probably never see a black market controlled like that.
That's great. That's
how
great.
we had it rocking. We had it rocking. Like I said, I was in the Empire State Building. Yeah, we was.
Right
I was. You know. Oh, Teri Woods. Every morning I get off the elevator. Teri Woods, I love you, Teri Woods. Oh my God, Teri Woods. Teri Woods, we need Dutch. Teri Woods. Oh Jesus, thank you, Teri Woods. We're so glad you're here today, Teri Woods. Thank you. And this was every day. You know, this was every day of my life. Getting off the Empire State Building elevator and being bombarded and.
Teri definitely was in the Empire State Building. Her office.
Dang, that's crazy.
I sold those books for $7 to the Africans and to the street vendors and to major stores. I would sell them for half price. So the price was $14.95, and I would sell the books for $7. You know, I would go on to publish other authors. I would go on to help them get out of jail. I would,
That's dope.
you know, co-author with them. The whole thing.
Thank you so much, definitely, and thank you everyone for coming. We're gonna actually wrap right now, but I know some of the